Welcome back, craft beer lovers. So I'm gonna do a video review today on a beer that you're probably all familiar with. It's the Filter XPA. And for those of you who've been following, had a little bit of experience with this, or an experience with this a couple of weeks ago where I tried one. Somebody sent it to me in a pack. Tried one, hadn't had it for a while. Tasted it, didn't think it was that great. Bit lacking of flavour and aroma. Posted up that I wasn't that impressed. Then I got reached out to by one of the team from Filter. They asked me for the batch on it, and I told them what it was, and they said no, that wasn't one of their best, and they said they'd send me out some new ones to try. So these arrived yesterday, popped them in the fridge, and I'm going to do a review on it today. I have had it before. I've had it a number of times, and you know, I've not minded it. I've never been a huge fan, but the last one, was pretty disappointing. But so these ones apparently new, fresh off the canning line. That's what it looks like in the glass. Can, good head, quite light, extra pale ale. Talk about that in a sec, but this one's got some more aroma, a little bit of sort of sweetness, just a tad of like fresh cut grass, that sort of stuff. Not big hop aroma, but just it's there. You can smell it. Taste. Okay, this one's certainly got more character, more body, more flavour. Probably just a little hint of like citrus, not overly strong, and just quite like a light sort of piney and fresh nose, like aroma, and on the tongue as well. Now, I wanted to just bring something up while we're talking about XPAs, because if you're not already aware, XPA is not actually a designated style. So if you go to BJCP guidelines or American Brewers Association, you won't find XPA in there. Obviously, as it says on there, extra pale ale. But this is where it gets a little bit confusing, because in some cases, an extra pale ale refers to extra pale. So in this case, that's what I'd be referring to. It's quite light in colour and appearance. And also with this one, it only comes in at 4.2%. So if you had a pale ale here, an IPA here, and this one is an extra pale ale, lighter in colour and lower in alcohol. So again, this is not dictated to by guidelines, because there aren't a set of guidelines that the XPA you can look at. In other cases, it's more like an extra pale ale. So you'd have a pale ale here, and they've given a bit extra, so they've increased alcohol and increased the flavour. So that's where it gets a little bit confusing, because sometimes an extra pale ale is below a pale ale, both in colour and in flavour, and ABV, like this one. And other times it's above a pale ale and not quite to a IPA, so it's more colour, more flavour, and a higher ABV. That's quite confusing, I know, but just to give you an example, so here's another XPA from Ballistic, and this one is at 5.5%. All right, so when you're comparing XPAs, you've got to try and figure out where this sits in the scale. Is it below a pale ale, extra light, and lower on ABV, perhaps lower on a bit on flavour? That's what I'd say this one is. Something like this one, the Ballistic, and I think from memory to the Bolter, sits slightly above their pale ales, which is more flavour. It's like extra flavour, extra alcohol, and therefore it gives you a bigger, punchier flavour. Either way, they're refreshing drinks. I think this one's pretty easy drinking. I wouldn't rate it big on flavour. It's not big on hops, it's not big on aroma, but it's nice and easy drinking. And at 4.2%, it's quite smashable. So thanks Filter for sending me out a replacement. Enjoying this one. Good customer service as well, making sure that you get good stock back out there. Remember, life's too short to drink bad beers. Cheers.